Welcome to the very first episode of Beyond the Pipeline. This is a podcast like no other where we go beyond the buzzwords. We get into a real conversation about equity, representation, diversity, inclusion. And today I'm excited to bring our very first episode. I'm your host, Gabriel Adofoh. I'm the Global Outreach Manager here at Couch Health. And again, I will say I'm excited. Our guest today is someone very special. We've actually not met for that much of a time, but throughout this short period, he's someone I've come to admire. He's the founder of BPLS, which is Black Professionals in Life Sciences. I'm gonna give him time to talk about his background and everything, but I'm very, very excited to welcome John Eribo. Let's give it for John Eribo.
Thank you.
Welcome, John.
Good to be here for sure.
So I want us to get straight into it. So why BPLS?
Why BPLS? So when I was working for my previous company within Pharma, I was actually having a conversation with a very senior leader.
Yeah.
And she had 40 direct reports, so 40 people reporting to her. And she came to me and said, John, I don't have a black talent reporting to me. I've got Asian, I've got Chinese, I've got whites, I've got every other ethnicity. I'm actually probably one of the most diverse departments in the company, but I haven't got a single black. And that kind of gave me this kind of idea to first set up a LinkedIn group. Yeah. And that LinkedIn group was focused around bringing black professionals together. So we don't get this question of where do I find these talents, right? You know where to find them now.
Yeah.
And within 12 months of launching that LinkedIn group, I managed to bring 5 black professionals across different levels within that organization, which was obviously a massive achievement.
Amazing.
And then I also on the side mentor a lot of early talents.
Okay.
And I've reviewed a lot of CVs and helped a lot of people. And 2 of my mentees were saying, John, you've helped so many people within the industry, but no one's actually seen you face to face.
Yeah.
So they decided to set up a little get together in London. Here's me thinking it would be about 20 people. Mm-hmm. It ended up being over 70 people that turned up.
Wow, yeah. First gathering.
Yeah, which is amazing. And I think that's where the idea of BPLS came about. I thought to myself, there is clearly a gap here. There is the need for, to make a greater noise to be able to kind of shift that needle. A lot of people, when we look at the diversity within the industry, black professionals are always the lowest in terms of representation, and especially when you go higher level within the grades. So for me to be able to create an organization that brings people together, both black professionals, ethnic minorities, but also allies who play a significant part in this process together, I mean, it was just I found my purpose. It was a purpose that I was actually looking for, and I think I found it with BPLS.
That's amazing, because I think joining even the company and then hearing about the story of BPLS and everything has been really intriguing to see what you've been doing. But since you started BPLS, how has it been being actually in the sector working? It's easy to say pipeline problems, but you're actually doing it, having those conversations. How's that been?
Honestly, it's been great. A lot of organizations are embracing the conversation. A lot of organizations, especially leadership, the leaders within those organizations, I think they're aware of the problem. A lot of them just don't know how to navigate the problem. There isn't a lot of data out there. Yeah. But you can walk into an organization and look around, right? Look around you, right? And what you might see is hardly any black professionals, or if you do see black professionals, you're probably seeing them at quite low level. Yeah. Right? And when you go to those decision-making tables, they're hardly there. But then we make medicine, and we're in a sector that treats diverse population. Yeah. So how do we make that, that reflection, right, balanced a little bit? So it's been, I would probably say the conversation has been welcoming. I'll probably say. There are some organizations that are still quite hard to reach. Yeah. But majority of them are very welcoming to having the conversation and supporting as well.
Okay. So then during that time, why do you think the representation in leadership, why do you think it's still lagging?
I mean, there's a few reasons, right? One of it is awareness without action, right? So people are aware of the issues, but like I said, they don't know how to navigate it, right? Another reason is also the fear of, oh, you might take my job. And I think I've heard that quite a lot, especially recently, where these people in decision-making tables feel like, actually, what does this mean when I say, hey, help a black professional develop into a leader, right? Does it mean you're coming to take my job? No, it's actually not. There is a pipeline of talents, right? And we need to ensure that the next pipeline of talents are diverse enough, so when they do go for, a role like yours, when you end up leaving, it's a fair, equitable opportunity, right? And I mean, there's quite a lot of reasons, and obviously data is a massive issue, right? The lack of data, especially within the industry, a lot of companies within life science don't actually track their ethnicity data, which is a massive issue, because without data, you can't actually set up a really actionable plan to tackle the issue, right? So the importance of data is so vital to be able to understand the problem, but also at what level
the problems are.
Right. So that's a massive thing, and obviously systemic issues, right? So it could be small things like ensuring you have a diverse panel interview. So people are interviewing the candidates, are they diverse enough? A lot of people focus on there has to be diverse by gender, but okay, well, if you've got a white lady and a white man, how does that work for a black person coming into that interview?
Very true.
Right, so it's just challenging those questions. Are you challenging your recruitment agency? That's another one, right? Because a lot of people use recruitment agencies, but if they bring you a candidate slate, how diverse is that candidate slate? So are you proactively checking that? So there's so much barriers to overcome, I'd say.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into the barriers part, but I think you mentioning these sort of reasons behind, because even with Couch Health starting with the role I do in terms of outreach and the clinical research, clinical trial space, you see that these questions are not being asked, and you go to a table and it's not as diverse as it should be, and so I think it's important, because they keep saying pipeline problems, but there is talent, there's the experience,
absolutely.
So what's the gap? Where do you think the gap is then? What do you think?
For some companies, the gap is obviously bringing the talent in. But majority of the time, the gap isn't the talent. It's leadership level, right? A lot of people have their own perception of what a leader should be, right? And for me, a leader can be at any level. It's not, you don't have to be a director, a VP to become a leader, right? You can be a leader as an associate level, right? Just like you can be a leader when you're studying at university. Leadership is about influence and impact. And if you can create, and if you've got those traits in you, it doesn't matter to be defined as a leader, right? So I think what people's perception or a leader should wear a suit, or a leader should talk a certain way, sound a certain way. It's just their own perception, and I think that's one of the main issues that we're facing is people at a certain level, they expect you to look like them, talk like them, to be able to get promoted. And I think that's a big challenge that we need to overcome as a community, and really understand that actually it has nothing to do with how you look, how you dress, or how you speak,
how you sound.
Absolutely.
I think that's amazing. I think you speaking on that just brought like sort of a picture in my mind, because at most times, especially with some of these spaces with these black professionals, they will not look like the typical sort of leadership mindset, leadership look that we have in our minds. And even I think it also plays a role with the actual professionals themselves. We have maybe sometimes a lack of self-confidence. Because we don't see ourselves like that, or we feel like we have to mold or shift our culture.
Let me touch on that a little bit, right? Because when I speak to a lot of early black talents, what I get is a sense of what I had growing up as well, which is your parents saying, you work hard, you will get what you want. So just work hard, work hard, you're gonna get what you want. And in corporate world, it's not the case, unfortunately.
It really isn't, yeah.
In corporate world, I'll probably say 60% is what the impact you make from a work day-to-day perspective. 40% is get out of your desk and network. Go to lunch with that individual. Go to a coffee break. Network. Build your sponsorship, your advocacy, your mentorship environments. Join employee resource groups, right? Find ways to connect with the wider environment around you, right? And I think, for me, that's what gets you from A to B.
Wow.
It's not, you can work as hard as you want, but the only person that's going to know you're working hard is your boss.
And right? that happens, because I hear many stories even around my colleagues, and they, because that mindset has been, especially from an African background, been driven on. Make sure you work hard. Your parents will say. So when you come into a workspace, you don't feel like going, because you feel like going for that lunch is a waste of time. You feel like, what are you going to talk about? The small chat, in between, going out and then having even drinks after work. All these things. Sometimes a culture shock is different, because most times you're rushing to get back home, or you don't see the need of it.
Absolutely.
But truly, in these sort of conversations are where opportunities might come across, or people might get to know a bit more about you. So
it's honestly, it's difficult having a conversation sometimes. I think if you don't relate to the majority of people around you, which in life science, as a black professional, you probably wouldn't. It's difficult having those conversations, those small talk, like you mentioned, right? And that's why you need prep. You need to prep. You need to understand. Okay, if I'm depending on who you're speaking to, right? So when in the early days of my career, if I'm speaking to a senior leader, I've only got 30 minutes with that senior leader, right? And I cannot spend the first 10 to 20 minutes talking about myself and my career. No, I can't do that, because it's a waste of my time, is a waste of their time. So what I tend to do is I have a development plan, and I also have a one-page profile summary of me, right? I send that before my meeting. That one-page summary, I send it to that senior leader before I meet with them, which saves me time, ample time, to then say, okay, by the time we met, you know about me, you know what I bring to the table, you know my strengths and my development areas. I then focus on learning from them.
Okay.
That's the most important thing.
So that's the secret.
That's the secret. You spend that 30 minutes asking questions and gaining those valuable insights that will help you grow your own career, right? That's the main focus, I would probably say. It's just planning depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting that one in my books. Yeah, because it's in some of how they became the leader, and maybe it's in some of the things they would say to you that you might look at the resources they use to help themselves. That might help you, because sometimes in a random conversation you hear a senior leader mention something that's never come across your mind before, and you're like even now speaking to you, like you saying that, sending a one page. I'm gonna work on that and send a one page profile, summary to a leader anytime I meet them. Did I send one to you? I probably did. But we had a meeting though. We had a meeting before. Yeah. So going back then to some of the barriers you touched upon, but if you could maybe in a sort of a summary form talk about some of these barriers that are in this sort of representation in leadership. What's preventing black professionals, ethnic minorities to actually occupy these spaces in clinical research, life sciences?
I mean, I'll start with the person in front of the mirror. So me, us. Self-confidence is a big one, right? I think when you are in an environment where you're not too sure how to navigate it, right? Again, you focus on your little box, and that little box is that desk and that monitor, right? So it goes back to you just work, and you don't want to step out of that box because you don't feel comfortable to do that, right? So I think one of the main things is growing confidence within the community, and this is one of the main things that we do at BPLS when we do our social networking sessions, is bringing communities together, bringing allies together, and really building confidence in your ability to speak to someone that you don't know.
Wow.
Right? And you get an opportunity, 3-4 hours of just networking with different people, learning different opportunities as well, right? Because again, when you join the industry, the first role you do might not be your last role. So it's important to understand the different roles within the industry and really just build that confidence in speaking to people, right? I think that's one of the biggest barriers is that, right? And then like I mentioned before, systemic barriers. It's a major issue, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not the people within the organization. Sometimes it's just the way the system is.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, I'm going to give a great example. One of my mentees applied for a role, right? And she's got a very hardcore Nigerian first name and surname. And she applied for the role and she got an automatic rejection.
Wow.
So what she did, she emailed the HR person, and that HR person responded and say, "I'm so sorry, we don't take on people that are based in Nigeria." This person was based in Southeast London. So
wow.
Straight assumption based on the fact that maybe she didn't put her location on her CV.
Yeah.
But then again, you just looked at the name and automatically straight rejection. Though she had 6 years experience, the job itself was asking for over 4 years experience.
Wow.
So again, these are the things that we have to try and tackle as an industry, day in, day out, right? Again, it's understanding, is the system still fit for purpose in 2025? Some people are working on systems that was built 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Processes that was built so long ago. I talked about the right interview panels, right? Making sure that it's diverse enough, right? How do we ensure that we have if it's a white person in the panel, you also make sure you have an Asian or a black person to diversify it a little bit, right? This isn't about tokens. No one's asking for token here. This is just about equity. It's about fair access and fair opportunity. So that's the ones the elements I'll highlight.
Yeah, wow. Well, this example of your mentee is interesting, because sometimes, I hear colleagues talk about, unfortunately, they get a lot of unfortunately emails and stuff, and it might be some of these reasons and sort of the space we are in. But that's interesting. Wow, thank God I'm called Gabriel. But then why is it that we because it's a systematic issue, we have to sort of deal with this in the African space? Let's say, because you use the example of a Nigerian, and most of the time some of these Nigerian names are really like Nigerian names, the Ayobabalos and whatnot. And so how, if a person in that shoe, like what should they do? For example, how can they, combat that? Maybe someone is watching us and they might need that advice. What should they do?
I mean, it's a great question. It goes back to my point of, you need to leverage your network, and if you don't have a network, you need to build your network. I think we've gone past so life science is now in a especially UK life science industry, right? It's now it's a very tricky environment now, because it's not the most attractive environment for companies to launch products in.
Wow.
And if a lot of companies are not looking at the UK as an attractive market to launch products in, it means the wider life science that supports these companies, agencies, for example, are not getting the right businesses, right? Which creates less jobs, right? But the attraction to work in the industry is still there, and it's actually increasing year on year. So when I speak to students, they're fully aware of life science, and a lot of them really want to move, especially pharmacists, biomedical scientists. So a lot of the science-led students, a lot of the non-science-led, marketeers want to move to the industry as well. So lack of jobs, but more awareness of what the benefits of working in the industry is. So leveraging your network is so important, because you've kind of gone past the days where you can just apply and you're going to be getting interviews left, right, and center. So what I always advise people to do is referrals. Massive things, right? So in most organizations, employees already working there can refer someone. And usually when they refer someone and that person becomes successful, they get referral bonus. Right? I've made 10 grand in 1 year off referring people to companies.
What?
So
your network is your net worth.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So it's a win-win, right? It's a win-win, right? It's a win for me because I get to refer someone. I try to refer people that I've spoken with. So if someone reaches out to me for a referral, I like to speak to them. for 30 minutes, look at their CV, just making sure that, you know, I'm referring someone that's actually capable of doing the role. But if that person becomes successful, I win. I get a nice bonus at the end of the you know, that person's probation period or whatever. And so referrals is a massive one, right? The next one is advocacy. So trying to build your network and speak to people that you don't know. Go on LinkedIn and message someone that works in a field that you want to go into.
Yeah.
Right? Tell them that you're interested in this field, that you would love to understand how they navigated their career. Right? Before you know it, you could be speaking to a hiring manager who's hiring their team in 2 months' time, or in a month's time, or tomorrow.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're doing an interview. It works.
It works. Wow. That's free source and free secret right there. But that's amazing. I think, you know, even hearing you put it into words and hear that as sort of bring it to life. Maybe one day I can make 10 grand. That's what I need to get on LinkedIn and start messaging the right people. Yeah. Okay. But what gives you hope though? What gives you hope in the life science spaces and leadership? In terms of, for example, with your story, you said a senior leader came to you.
Yeah.
And so that is sort of like a successful one in terms of, you know, being in that position for someone to actually reach out to you. But so what gives you hope in the life sciences space?
What gives me hope of change for me is the younger generation are becoming more confident. You know, in the current company I work at, we recruit a lot of diverse undergrads. Yeah. And, you know, when I speak to the black undergrads and the ethnic diverse undergrads, they're very confident. They're more confident than, you know, I was when I was that age, right? So I think the younger generation is becoming more confident. I think that's a massive bonus and benefit. I think organizations are also more aware. Yeah. And I think that's also very positive. They're more receptive to companies like BPLS. You know, so we get organizations proactively reaching out to us for sponsorship or pro bono support, you know. Yeah. Couch Health, I mean, massive advocate for BPLS, right? Yeah. You know, Ash, the founder, I mean, tremendous, right? Yeah. So that is also what's making me feel like there is change coming. Once the industry starts understanding the benefits of having diverse voices, right? The benefits of your organization reflecting the society it serves. Yeah. I think, you know, health outcomes will change, and it will definitely become more, you know, beneficial for the wider community.
Yeah, I think when we're talking as well, we addressed what if maybe someone who's thinking of that is applying, but what if an organization wants to move past tick boxing in terms of equity and they want to really get to the stage of, you know, being aware? Yeah. What do they do?
Data.
Okay.
Data, you know, look within. You know, forget about looking out, look within, right? Understand your current workforce. Yeah. Where is the gaps, right? I was working with an organization who did a data to look at their workforce ethnicity status, and they said, we are super diverse, right? And I said, well, are you taking into account the undergrads and placement students? And they said, yeah. I said, take that away, and what do you see? Oh, wow, we've got an issue, right? Because you're taking people that are coming to do 12 months placement and then going back to university and probably might not come back to that company. You cannot take that into account. What is your permanent, full-time, you know, or part-time employee diversity status, right? And that's important. Once you've got that in place, then you start looking at, okay, at what level are we seeing that drop off? Yeah. Right? And once you've kind of mapped that out, then it's about understanding why. Are we seeing black and ethnic minority coming in and dropping out after 2 years? Why is that? Yeah. Look at your leadership academic programs and your manager programs, development programs, and which kind of candidates are going to those programs, right? Because some organizations have these leadership programs where your manager has to nominate you. Yeah. what's the ethnicity status of those programs?
Nominations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? That challenge those elements. And I think once you start challenging those elements, one, you're going to get two things. You're going to get you're going to be able to build the tactics that you need to increase your diversity within your workforce. But you're also going to be able to change some internal processes which allows retention of Black and ethnic diversity. And those are two key things that anyone wants to achieve when they're really trying to improve health outcomes for the better.
Definitely. Wow. It's been impactful. I've been learning so much from just this short time we've been talking. But to close off then, what would be sort of your closing remark to anyone, maybe someone first of all wants to join BPLS, how can they join? What's the benefit of BPLS to them?
I mean, BPLS, it's an organization that we bring together professionals. First, we are a professional first organization, so we bring together like-minded individuals, so from all backgrounds. I always say we're not a organization for Black professionals, we are an organization of Black professionals, right? So all ethnicity are welcome. We have a fantastic diverse membership slate at the moment. And we also welcome allies, people that are wanting to support and wanting to, be advocate for ethnic diversity. You can find us or find more information on our website, so bpls.org.uk.
Wonderful.
We are also on LinkedIn, so Black Professionals in Life Sciences. And we usually have a quarterly social events happening, more of a networking opportunity. We also have our 2026 annual summit, which we are looking for sponsorships for sure. So Couch Health did an amazing support for us in the 2025 summit, which happened in March. So it's going to be even bigger.
Wonderful.
And we're going bigger and bolder. So we're looking, we've got a amazing venue in central London that hosts roughly about up to 300 people. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to it. But so that's how you find more about BPLS.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I think definitely Couch will probably be there at the event. If not, I would be there myself.
I love that.
And so final call of action to organizations, to individuals, what would it be from you?
So I mean, to Black professionals, my advice would be bold. Don't stop being you. Regardless of what people say. Be yourself. Be yourself always wins. Network. So come out your desk and get up and have that coffee break. If you don't know what to talk about, seek advice from friends. You've got AI now, which is amazing. You put it in ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure they'll give you some questions you can ask. Do a one-page summary of yourself, of your career, of your professional self. It's honestly, it helps a lot. It helps when you're having conversations with senior leaders, HR partners as well. To organizations, is sponsor. Organizations like BPLS, proactively reach out to us. Challenge internally. So, hiring managers, please challenge your interview slates, candidate slates. Look at your system and focus on data. It's super key. We're all in this for better health outcomes. It's difficult to have that without a diverse decision-making table. It's gonna slow. So we want really diverse decision makers to be able to really impact that health outcomes that we're all trying to impact.
Wonderful. Thank you very much again, John, for taking out the time.
I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you.
You're the first person to, launch the podcast with us. So, and there's no one that makes sense for why representation matters, beyond the pipeline than you. So I'm excited that we've been able to do this. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, great.